And the West Virginia Mountaineers lose in embarrassing fashion. Just total embarrassment. No excuse for it. Let's discuss this ugly performance, man.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, where we're talking about the Mountaineers, obviously, in this big loss to Ohio on the road. A total embarrassment. Can't believe it went down like that. We got a lot to get into, but thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. This episode is going to be brought to you by, I believe it's going to be FanDuel, guys. And look, with FanDuel, football season is around the corner, so visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. Sorry about that earlier podcast, guys. I accidentally had it set to go live on X, and my boss would have killed me, so I had to hurry up and nix it really quick. So anyway, there's a lot to get to, isn't there? This is I'm almost at a loss, to be honest. I can't believe we're here right now. I can't believe we're here right now after what we just went through for 6 years under Neil Brown. This is one of those things that you prepare for mentally throughout the week, like it could happen. But I never actually believed we would be here. I knew we had some warning signs, like I told you guys all last week. Robert Morris pushed us around up front. It's just the way it happened. I mean, their defensive tackles pushed our offensive linemen around up front. We have misevaluated the offensive line in this era, in the portal era. I believe we've got a lot of positions right. I like our wide receivers. I really still do, but there's nobody to throw them the football. We can pass protect enough to get the football out, at least against Ohio, but we don't have anybody to throw them the football. Let's get to the box score, and then I'll get to my opinions on what we should do. I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for this team. I'm heartbroken for game day next week. Game day was right in our lap. And unfortunately, we just threw it all away. There's no way they're going to put us on game day now after this bull crap. Jaheim White went down in the game. I need to remember that. And that was a big. That one sucked the energy out of a lot of the team, I believe, So for those of you that aren't aware of what's happened, it's a 17-10 win for the Ohio Bobcats. They go to 1-1. West Virginia falls to 1-1 in a game where the West Virginia's defense kept them in it the entire way, and Ohio played spectacularly on defense with a brand new front seven. There's just no excuse for it. Nico Marchio, 15-26, 178 yards and an interception. Jaheim White had 6 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. 32 of that was on one play. James Bray goes out of the game, 4 catches, 69 yards. He would have been big to have in the game as well. But, I mean, you can't help when somebody gets hurt. Cam Vaughn, after torching them in the bowl game for 9 catches and 180 yards, only 2 catches for 43 yards. We essentially don't even have the quarterback that they had at Jacksonville State last year. I'll give my opinions on that in a minute, though. And I know it's probably not going to happen yet, but we'll talk about it. On the other side, I mean, Parker Navarro was 22 of 31 for 247 yards and 3 picks and a touchdown. He also had 87 yards on the ground on 18 carries. C.A. Bangura had 66 yards on 20 carries. That's 38 carries plus 9 more. I mean, that's 47 carries your defense had to withstand today. Chase Hendricks, 8 catches, 121 yards. We talked about him all week. We talked about how dangerous he is. We talked about how good of a player he is. He proved to be that today. No doubt about it. Outside of that, they don't got nobody. If it's not going to Bangura, if it's not going to Hendricks, if it's not going to Navarro, they got nothing. And we still struggled with that at times today. But defense absolutely played their tails off. They definitely kept us in this football game. especially after a rough couple drives. I thought they definitely buckled down. Zach Alley and crew made terrific adjustments. This is a team that scorched Rutgers last week, and I still think we have some optimism to be had for our defense. I mean, if you're going to have take anything away from this game, our defense played pretty well at times. Up front, they got pushed around a little bit, yes, but they were on the field for a really long time. So almost anybody, after having to withstand 40 rushing attempts, is going to get pushed around to a certain extent, right? They still didn't allow one person to go over 100 yards. I mean, it seems like it was worse than it was because they were getting 4 yards a carry. But, that's the only positive in this game in the turnovers. Outside of that, putrid, horrible. And I have some thoughts about what we should do, no doubt about it. If you're asking me, and this is the honest truth, and I'm probably not going to come off this stance and listen to me when I say this, because I know people will try to revisit this. Chase Wilson is hurt too. When did I miss that? Anyways, if I was in and out of it for a minute there. I was just so upset. But anyway, so I think if game day wasn't wasn't so likely to happen for us next week, this would hurt a lot less for me because it's like you can fix a lot of the things I feel like that we have going on. I was really I had my I had my sights set on that bad. So I think if it were me, and I'm no offensive coordinator, I really do think you might want to consider Scotty Fox at this point. I know we've only seen him on one or two plays, and there's a reason he's probably third string or what have you, or Max Brown at this point. I'll tell you why. Our offensive line has proven through 2 games that it can't get pushed in the running game. It's proven that. We'll be a better passing team than a running team. And I think Max Brown is better fit to stand back in the pocket. Now, I don't know about his decision making, but I mean, if you're going to ask me, I think Scotty Fox would be the better choice going forward because he can run the football at an elite level and he can also throw it. I mean, if you want to go back, we can look at the tape. He can really sling the football around. We've got plays on him. We've got plays from during camp where he was absolutely dotting it up. Now, that's during camp, and I'm sure there's a reason he's buried on the depth chart. But Rich Rod's made changes midseason before, and wouldn't it be poetic for a guy like Scotty Fox to possibly be the guy? Outside of that, I mean, I don't know why Ty Edwards got no carries today. I'm assuming he's still getting back into shape. He must not be seeing something in practice that they like. Obviously Jamori Robinson would have helped incredibly today. You might even win the game if Jamori Robinson was on the field today. And I mean that because I think that Navarro wouldn't have gotten away as many times as he did. He's got a lot of moxie. Navarro does. He's a gutsy player. He reminds me of Garrett Green quite a bit. But this is one of those performances where it's baffling how a Big 12 offense that spent $15 million couldn't get in the end zone against a MAC team with probably not even a third of the budget. How? Somebody tell me how. Anybody? Can somebody tell me how a MAC team has a better offensive line than a Big 12 team that had it? They could have spent $1 million in all 5 offensive linemen if they wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could have. You wouldn't have any much money really left for the rest of the offense, but you could have hypothetically built yourself an incredible offensive line. But instead, I think they went after these scheme fit guys that got pushed around. Now, I don't know enough about X's and O's to look at it and say how much of it is continuity, how much of it is they're not gelling, because a lot of times, in this offense, a lot of times you rely on double teams for some of this stuff and they're not firing off the right way. And that can impact it. Or if it's just one guy that's messing up, which a lot of times today It was one or two guys. You look on the first drive of the game, we were able to move them around. What happened to that? I don't know. It's a weird thing, football, man. You just never know. Very rarely are you going to get 3 turnovers and not be able to come out of that with some points. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. Nico Marchiol played, even though his numbers aren't god awful, they're not god awful when you look at them on paper, which is surprising. 15 to 26, 178 yards and an interception. And he probably had, I don't know what he had running the ball, probably not much, but he had 11 carries for 9 yards. So I also thought they went away from I guess really when you can't run the ball though, what are you supposed to do, right? I mean, in one, I feel like you went away from Jalen Henderson too early, but it was clear we were going to need to pass it in this one. I really wish we would. I don't know. I'm at a loss, honestly. I understand that we're going to clamor for Scotty Fox or even maybe Max Brown, who I don't even know if he's still hurt or what. But if it continues at this rate, we're going to see him. Believe that. We're not going to be able to do. I mean, I watched Pitt's defense today. They flew around on defense today against Central Michigan at times on the defensive line. It doesn't get any easier from here. Kansas is putting up 1 million points on Missouri. Like, I've got some apologies to make if this continues, right? I'm not going to totally, and I know some people will. I'm not giving up on Rich Rod. Don't get me wrong here. This is not me giving up on Rich Rod. It's year 1, game 2, 81 new players. That's all in perspective. It's just some of the things that I thought we would be able to do, we're not doing. So let's go to break and talk about what's next. I mean, there's just a lot to get to. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by DoorDash. We're talking about DoorDash for many reasons, and it's almost the weekend. It's time to look at this week's MVP and who delivered, powered by DoorDash, just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. So let's break it down. West Virginia fans, if I had to pick somebody today, I don't know if you could hold a gun to my head to pick somebody. I really don't know. Fred Perry delivered in a big way today. I mean, he was in multiple different plays. He was definitely, if I had to pick somebody for today's game, it would have to be Fred Perry. So when the pressure was on, he came through. No hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, his performances aren't going to be a fluke. And I do believe that Fred Perry will stay on a streak. And just like Fred Perry delivered for West Virginia at times today, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. And with DoorDash Streaks, you have every Saturday you order to stack it up all off season and in season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. So order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day, but you can only do it with DoorDash. So terms apply, and the promo code will be through 11/18. And of course, our friends over at Mazda are also here today, and we obviously want to talk about that because it's almost the weekend, and it's time to look back and talk about what Mazda is doing for you as well. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. They follow what moves them every time they drive, and that's what makes Mazda stand out beyond the rest. They go beyond safety, they go beyond style and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every detail. Mazda offers more than safety, as it's won more top safety pick awards than anyone else, and especially up until now in 2025. And you can feel at the moment you get behind the wheel, the smooth handling, intuitive controls, and standard all-wheel drive in every crossover SUV. It's the small details that make the big plays, and just like there's more to every player, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. You can only do it today with Mazda. Move and be moved. Wow, 73 new messages since I started reading all that. So everybody's fired up. I understand that. And my inbox right now, if I look at my inbox on X, I have got 17 messages in my inbox. My phone's blowing up. People are trying to rub this in because I was talking about game day all week. Um, you know, anyways, I have my reasons for wanting to do that, but it's very personal to me, and I'm going to keep it to myself. It wasn't just going to game day. There was other things with that about my dad. So I have to just not think about it or all. All right. If you look at the total yards here, it's shocking. It's shocking. And I mean shocking. 19 minutes time of possession to 40. 250 total yards for the offense. 178 passing yards, 72 rushing yards, under 5 yards per play, only 13 first downs. And look, Ohio had the winning number, 24 first downs, 1 away from what Rich Rod says you normally need. You extend 2 drives, you probably win this game. It's quite frustrating. Third down efficiency, when this is where we lost the game, in my opinion, absolutely where we lost the game with third down. Let me find the numbers. I know that was bad. Yeah, 2 of 13 on third down. That's where we lost the game on third down. We could not get drive extended for the life of us, to give our defense a rest because our defense was just gassed enough they were able to stop him between the 20s for the most part, or maybe more like the 30s or 40s, but they moved in between, right? And in between that is like these 7 and 8 play drives that kept happening, even though we were getting stops. Our defense they just weren't getting enough rest to be able to get 3 and outs, in my opinion. Now, we got those 3 interceptions, which should have been at least 10 points. I mean, goodness gracious. If you kick 3 field goals out of it, you win the game. So I think, here's what I think. On defense, obviously it depends on who's healthy going forward. But I think on defense, you go, you continue to make some improvements because, I think the defense can be salvageable on this team this year. Obviously up front, there are some issues as far as stopping the run, no doubt. There's some tackling issues. This defense definitely had trouble tackling today at times. Chase Wilson got exposed a little bit today. I mean, he did, let's be honest, in open field tackling situations. And I think I have to remind myself, and maybe we should all remind ourselves, how many players played their first, well, it's really not even their first Power 5 game today. But I would say a few of those guys are Power 5 worthy players. Like a Chase Hendricks is as good as any slot guy you're going to face all year in the Big 12, in my opinion. I find him to be that good. I mean, he was very, very elusive. He's what Rodney Gallagher should have been, to be honest. If we're just going to put it out on the table, we might as well. In my opinion, what Chase Hendricks does and looks like is what I thought Rodney Gallagher is what it was going to be when we got him. He had one good play today. It can't all be on Nico. I mean, I get it. It's gonna publicly fall on his shoulders. But I mean, if you looked at a couple of those plays, there was miscommunications going on. Guys weren't exactly rolling and getting into the right spots. If you look at one play, Cam Vaughn broke down the sidelines, and I think it was Jalen Henderson who just threw a quack and duck down the sidelines. Like, it was everything that could go wrong on offense did go wrong. I trust Rich Rod to fix it if we have the pieces to fix it. And I think Scotty Fox might be the answer going forward. If it was up to me, I'm just saying this, if it was me, and I'm not Rich Rod, and maybe and I'm not there at practice every day, so I can't say what's going to happen here. But I think you just hit the epic button, you blow it up, You start over with Scotty Fox and whoever you want to be your running back. I don't even care. But I mean, put Ty Edwards beside him to put, Sincere got one carry today. I mean, what's he going to do with that? Clay Ash has proven that he is at best a third down scat back, in my opinion. I mean, I'm tired of lying about how I feel. Just I don't want to hurt people, but I feel like Clay Ash kind of showed today, like, yeah, he might be consistent in practice, but good God, I wasn't that impressed. Oh, man, it makes me so upset because I know his mom watches this show. But, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on those guys, I get it. They were keying on him like there was no passing game really, but good God. I just think we need to blow this thing up and put Scotty or move forward with Jalen. I've lost all confidence in Nico, and I never had much to begin with. I acquiesced to him as the starter because the writing was on the wall that he was going to be the starter. And I didn't want to publicly be that guy every week that didn't believe in the guy, right? At least give him a chance. And through 2 weeks, he's been blah. I mean, look, you can go back and look at the 93.5 Pro Football Focus score against Robert Morris, and you can definitely use those numbers to say, hey, look, he was great in week one. They were a bunch of hitch routes. I mean, there were hitch routes to Cam Vaughn and one deep ball. Like, it wasn't like he was Will Greer dicing somebody up. It wasn't Geno Smith. Like, it's not that. It's not even Garrett Green 2 years ago. It's trying to think. It's like Tim Tebow when he played for the Broncos kind of stuff. Like, that's what it reminds me of. You're rolling out, you're running these boots, you're protecting him because he's limited. I was hoping this wouldn't happen, but here we are. We're in a situation where, I mean, let's just go down the list and look, player stats. Jaheim White played excellent today, but he got hurt, unfortunately. Rodney Gallagher laid an egg. Nico Marchio laid an egg. Jalen Henderson didn't really get much of a chance. Clay Ash laid an egg. Cam Vaughn, I feel like he made plays when he was given plays to make. The catch that down the sidelines, that was tough. I feel like that could have went either way. I wanted it to go our way, but I understand why it didn't. Cam Vaughn got one play. Sincere Bowers got one play. Jaden Bray was one of the bright spots of today. Clay Ash, like I said, Preston Fox played very well today. I thought he was good in punt return. He tried to give us the best chance that he could. He did have the one catch for 20 yards. Oron Singleton was a no-show again today, but I don't really count that against him because we don't have a quarterback that can sit back there and throw it to people like we need. Like, I think we have playmakers on offense at the wide receiver spots, and we just don't have anybody. We don't have an offense built for like the team that we have as now. I think Dana Holgerson can take this offense and probably make it into a really good passing offense. And I know Rich Rod has concepts and he can do that too, but we don't have somebody that can just sit back there and throw it around like that. So I do believe that Scotty Fox can be that. I do believe that maybe Max Brown could be that. Now, I don't know about the decision-making. I've said this multiple times with Max Brown, but like from an arm talent standpoint, yeah, I think both of those guys need chances. At this point, you've got very little to lose. Next week's going to be an emotional game. You could turn your whole season around with a win. Let's be honest. Even though we lost game day 99% for sure, I think even though this loss hurts, winning next week would change everybody's mood and we'd be feeling great again, and people will be wondering if we could win the Big 12. And, that's what a win next week could do for us. But do I have any faith that we can stop Holstein at all? No, I don't. Not after today. I mean, it seems like we don't have the athleticism at linebacker to really deal with multiple quarterbacks right now, and that's a frustration. Now, Maybe there's some guys and we haven't played yet that they can put in that can help there, like Cam Torber. I'm a big fan of. John Lewis is a guy that I'd like to see at times. I mean, we'll just have to keep seeing what happens. Obviously, this season hasn't played out all the way yet, and we don't know all the ins and outs. But there's a lot of frustrations to be talked about. We'll go to break and come back, and I'll put in my final thoughts on this one. Hey guys, this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Upside. And I mean, if you're like the bus that's in Athens right now, they're paying for gas for sure. So if you're still paying for gas, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up the free Upside app, and simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or on Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code football and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up, where you can make $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid to make their daily commutes, and well, you can too. You just cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. So don't let this offer drive by. Download the free Upside app now by using my limited time promo code football for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code football. Offers can be used almost anywhere, but they vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. And lastly, guys, our fans over at FanDuel want to say hi. And the NFL season is almost here, as after all, we just had game 1 in week 0. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and can win in bonus bets, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, same game parlays. You want to jump in live as the action unfolds, you can definitely do that and make your own bets. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to your Sunday. So are you ready to play? Because if you want to download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com to get started, that's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all for joining in like you have today. It's obviously been a rough day. Um, you know, I have to remind myself that life is, football. It's not life, but it's damn close, right? It's a close second, I like to say. Um, I just want a winner back. I just want to win again, you know. Unfortunately, all of our fears were realized, and our offensive line is a problem. I said it last week. Kimo Makaniole, unfortunately, got beaten at times today. Not only him, obviously, Landon Livingston, and also really all of our guards. So, I mean, Nick Cray was the best performing guy last week. We'll have to see what it looks like on tape this week. Tykees Crawford has been steady at times, but I just this is we have to remember this is an offensive line with very little starting experience at this level. So uh, sometimes things just don't work. Sometimes it just don't work. You gotta get good on the lines of scrimmage. That's just all there is to it. You can't go without that. You know, I look over today and I'm watching the Clemson game and I'm like, of course Goose Crowder looks amazing. Of course Will Crowder looks great right now. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't Will Crowder be amazing today? Let's look at that Clemson score. It probably switched. Yeah, it's 27-16 now. Okay, so Clemson's come back, but Goose Crowder at one point was playing really well. Now he's thrown 3 picks. So that's changed. But either way, my final thoughts are this. Obviously, this is going to be I don't want to be Rich Rodriguez to try to get this team ready for Pitt after this loss. I get that. It's got to happen. You literally can't. Like, if you lose this game here, you're talking about a 2 or 3 win first year seat, probably, right? I mean, let's just pull up the schedule and really pay attention now because you look at how everybody's playing around us, man. It's like, are we the worst team in the Big 12? Like, now I'm really questioning it, and I didn't think I would do that. I really didn't, you know? Like, anyway, so we've got Kansas who proved they had no defense today, but can we even do anything to them? Probably not, right? Obviously, Pitt today were susceptible on defense, I thought, at times to Central Michigan. Like if you look at the box score on that game, Central Michigan actually they didn't do anything on offense. I just looked at the score and thought that they did. No, they locked them totally down. Never mind. So how did they get 17 points? Must have been on defense. Yeah, no, they held them to 217 total yards. Never mind. So they locked them totally down on defense today. So they put up almost 500 yards of offense, etc. Well, next week's going to be a tough one, man. But if I'm Rich Rodriguez, like I said, I'm looking everywhere for players. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few new starters in the lineup next week at the offensive line spot, maybe at quarterback. We suck, right? That's just all there is to it right now. Until further notice, we suck. So that's it. That's really all I got left, guys. I appreciate y'all for joining in. This is a heartbreaking thing. I'm probably going to step away for the rest of the day. I need a break. I live and die with these, man. I really do. I've had it to hold it together on this show a couple times over it. It seems silly, and I know it seems silly, but you love what you love. You can't help that. I'm just so tired of this team being a punching bag. Sucks. Clay Ash, I don't know. I don't know why. I hate to sit here and bash people, but best I can tell, he's the most consistent guy in practice. Is the only thing I can figure out, Big Aaron. I think that he's earned his spot, on a scholarship and everything. I feel like he's earned that. I've always supported that. And it's not like the offensive line did him any favors. I mean, he was getting hit before he could get to the line. So I just think that with the offensive line we have, we need somebody that's like Jaheim, who's elusive, that can make that first guy miss. That's why I think Ty Edwards could be a possibility here, because if you go look at his Northern Iowa tape, let's go over there really quick, and I'll show you a couple, just really quick, guys. I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want to look at this right now, but wow. I didn't realize Pat McAfee put Scotty Fox is going to come in and win this game for West Virginia earlier. But, I mean, if you look at Ty Edwards here, let me get up his video pulled up. All right, so, yeah. All right, so when you look at this guy here, man, something I noticed that he does really well. First of all, that right, he runs through the first tackle really well. He's a horse. I mean, he can really run. Uh, and if you look at him, he's able to make guys miss in space at times. And I think this is something that without Jaheim, we need dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, and he makes a guy miss and gets through the lane. Like he's more elusive than people realize. And you see how he accelerates through the hole. I'm honestly not. I'm shocked as to why He hasn't played yet. I'm just only can assume there's the example that I wanted you to see. See, like he's capable of it. You could have him at the line of scrimmage and you can see he can make a guy, he can break a tackle, and then he's got the ability to juke right there. Boom. Make a guy miss and get up the field. That's what we need right now. It just is. And he's got the speed and everything to do it. He's able to cut inside and outside the whole thing. When he gets going, man, it's scary what he's capable of. I don't know why he's not playing yet. So, like I said, the only thing I can figure out is it's been the lack of practice time, and maybe by next week he'll be ready. Because I mean, from looking at this, I mean, goodness gracious, he's for sure what we need. I mean, we need somebody that can push the pile. We need somebody that looks like this, right? I mean, this guy's an absolute horse. So that's my 2 cents on it at this point. I love Sincere Bowers as well, still as a changeup back. But yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with it. Obviously, we have to keep watching and keep supporting this team. Please come back this week and watch the show. I'll do my best to cover it. The Pitt game, even though it's going to be tough, it's only one loss. Season's not over. The backyard brawl is still happening. And we've got to try to support this team so they can turn it around. If you'll remember this, guys, just remember this. Go watch the first 3 games from Jacksonville State last year. I ask you to do so. They went 0-3 in the first 3 games last year with 50 or 60 new guys, and then they won 8 in a row. It's not the same thing, and I get that. They don't have the same challenges we do at quarterback and other places, but Rich Rod's pulled himself out of this hole before. That's really all, right? I mean, we have to at least hope that's going to happen. I mean, like, what are we doing here? I'm not rooting against him. That's all, So that's really all he can do. Other than that, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Before you go, I do want to tell you about what's something we got going on over here at Locked On that's pretty dang cool, which I know a lot of you guys kind of know about it now, but it is something that we're all really, really proud of as a company to be doing, and that's Fire TV College Football. Fire TV College Football Kickoff. It's another big moment for Locked On college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview, where Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. The college football preview only Locked On can do. Go ahead and catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, and that's going to be only on Fire TV. I will see you guys tomorrow, y'all. I'm going to take a step away from this for tonight and just think about some things, and I'll probably do a bunch of videos tomorrow on this. See you then.